Harley Lippman's a foreign policy expert and geopolitical analyst. So where do things stand right now, Harley?
I think President Trump is pursuing a policy where it strikes the right balance. And a lot of people don't appreciate the fact that he has virtually wiped out the military of our adversary with almost no American casualties and virtually no Iranian civilian casualties. So we're having a war with a humanitarian approach that you rarely see in conflict. And right now, we're waiting for Iran to give their response. But President Trump is doing the perfect carrot and stick, where he's offering an opportunity for Iran to enter the world of nations and thrive if they're willing to give up all their nuclear ambition, and also if they're willing to open up the Strait of Hormuz because it's not their strait. I want to point out why we're in this war, because I think it's really important for us to go back to fundamentals for a moment. We're fighting this war for two reasons. One, no nation in American history has been more obsessed with destroying the United States than Iran. For 47 years, every day, they say they want to destroy America. And it's arrogance to think we know better what our enemy means in their own words, believe them. Second reason is President Trump is doing something that Democratic administrations never did. He has a strategy on our number one adversary, China. This is putting leverage on China so that China will be very unlikely to go to war over Taiwan because President Trump could stop the spigot of oil coming from Venezuela and Iran to China, which they desperately need.
When you're waiting to hear back from these negotiators, and your line is pretty strong, no enriched uranium, we're getting it out of there, you can't dig, you got to demolish the nuke sites, open up the strait. How long can they screw around like this? I mean, you keep hearing these prognostications. They got weeks, they got a month. What do you think the timeline is here?
Nobody knows, but it's not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. It's not sustainable. Their economy has been so devastated. We've heard the statistics. Inflation over 100%. Their currency is worthless. Millions of people have lost their jobs. You know, they're being deprived of $500 million every day to the successful blockade. President Trump is doing this in the way to promote a peaceful resolution. So he's not a warmonger, contrary to what the Democrats are saying with their obsession of hatred with President Trump. And Iran is feeding off of that, hoping the left will bail them out of the war. And while no one knows, they will collapse. And I think it requires patience. Everybody likes simple answers, but these are complex problems. And it's a very short war by historical standards. 2 to 3 months is nothing. And the American people just need to be patient. Trump is doing it the right way. Even when a lot of people get upset with the things he says, it's causing the Iranians huge grief because they can't figure out Trump. And that's an enormous strategic asset that I don't think any American president has ever had. They don't know what to do. And President Trump is taking advantage of that to promote a resolution that will open the Strait of Hormuz. And when it comes to nuclear weapons, you have to have complete dismantlement. You have to make sure they can't get a bomb from North Korea or Pakistan. You know, we have to really watch. I remember what General Keane said on your program about enforcement. We have to really be very careful about enforcement of any agreement, even if they sign one, because they can't be trusted.
Harley, great take. Good to be with you as always. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.